Artificial intelligence is everywhere, in the phones and computers we use daily, to the apps we depend on, and now here in our classrooms with our students. Generative AI powers the chatbots we interact with, the tools that help us draft emails and brainstorm lesson ideas, and even the creation of images, music, and video. In this video, we'll pull back the curtain to show you how these tools actually work, why the prompts you give them matter so much, and what opportunities and challenges they bring to teaching and learning. Before diving in, let's clear up some important terms. Artificial intelligence refers to technologies created by people that allow computers to perform tasks we usually think of as requiring human intelligence. For example, AI can answer questions, follow instructions, and solve problems. It also powers the spam filters that keep junk out of your email inbox, recommends a video or song, guides you around traffic in a navigation app, and even helps your bank detect unusual charges. Generative artificial intelligence is a type of AI that creates new text, images, music, and even videos. It's important to understand that all generative AI is AI, but not all AI is generative. Generative AI includes tools like chatbots. A chatbot is simply the interface we use to talk to an AI model. When we interact with a chatbot, we give it an instruction or question. This is called a prompt. The detail and quality of your prompt directly affect the quality of the AI's response. Let's compare two prompts and the responses produced from each. In the first prompt, we ask the AI to generate a lesson plan for a lesson on photosynthesis. In the second prompt, we give the AI much more context about the lesson, that it should be 45 minutes long, which outcomes and standards to align with, and the role we want the AI to take. In this case, we ask it to act as an experienced biology teacher. Which prompt do you think will produce a stronger response? If you chose prompt 2, you're correct. But why exactly is prompt 2 better? Imagine I ask you to predict the next word in this sentence. Which word do you think comes after the? Go ahead, take a guess. Now imagine I give more context. The students were really engaged and asked thoughtful. With that context, it's much easier to predict words that could follow and continue the sentence. At its core, a chatbot is a text generation tool just predicting the next word, one at a time, to form responses. Additional context helps us make better guesses, and it helps AI too. How does a machine learn to predict the next word? There are many approaches, but here we'll focus on large language models, or LLMs. An LLM is a type of generative AI trained on massive amounts of text to understand and generate human-like language. It's the engine inside chatbots like ChatGPT. We simplify the machine learning process into 3 main steps: the dataset, learning algorithm, and prediction. First, the data set. Since it is a language model, we also need to teach it to learn English, learn our conversation patterns, and learn our preferences. The AI is trained on a massive collection of examples, including public websites like Wikipedia, X, and Reddit, as well as books, articles, conversations, and many other digitized texts. You can think of this as the AI's training material. Before the dataset can be used, it has to be cleaned. Duplicated text, spam, and harmful content are removed. Then the words are broken into small pieces called tokens. Tokens are common sequences of characters found in a set of text. When you create a prompt for a chatbot, your words are also turned into tokens so the AI can compare them to the patterns it learned during training. Next, the AI learns from its dataset of trillions of tokens using a neural network. You can picture a neural network as a giant web of connected switches and light bulbs. Each time the AI predicts the next token, it adjusts those connections slightly, turning some up and others down. Take the phrase "once upon a." The AI might guess pizza during its training process, but that's incorrect. The right answer was time. This cycle repeats over many weeks or months of training, gradually refining the network's connections. When that happens, the network updates itself so it's more likely to predict a token or word that makes sense. Over time, it becomes highly skilled at recognizing patterns in language and generating likely next words in a sentence. Next, the AI model needs to learn conversation patterns between people. It doesn't just study single sentences, it also looks at how questions and answers connect, how people take turns, and what makes a response sound polite, clear, or helpful. Real people are then asked to compare two or more possible answers from the AI and pick the one they prefer. Each time they choose, the model updates itself to favor that type of response. A chatbot may ask you to choose which answer you prefer. This process is called reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning helps the AI sound more natural, more helpful, and more aligned with human expectations. But there's a catch. Humans bring their own opinions and experiences. If many people pick answers that mention a popular app as the best way to learn a language, the AI may start treating that as the universally best answer, even though not everyone may have access to it or agree with that answer. This is how bias can creep in. The AI isn't trying to be unfair, but it's shaped by the preferences of the people training it. Whose voices are included? Whose voices are missing? Those questions matter a lot. Finally, after learning patterns from the dataset and learning how people prefer responses, the model is ready to make predictions and generate new text. Like when your phone suggests the next word in a text you're sending, it isn't guessing randomly, it's drawing on patterns it has already learned. AI can be powerful, but it's not perfect. 3 common problems to be aware of are bias, misinformation, and hallucinations. Take bias. Imagine asking an AI to generate an image of a man and a woman performing a specific job. The image might only show people of a certain race. Why? Because in the data it was trained on, those patterns appeared more often. This raises an important question. Should AI reflect the statistics of society, or should it try to be impartial to each user? Misinformation is false or misleading content that originates from a human, intentionally or unintentionally, and then spreads. AI does not fact-check or look at the source of all the data it trains on, so it can spread inaccurate information without any warning. Like this example, which told the user to mix 1/8 cup of glue into their sauce to give it more tackiness. Finally, let's look at hallucinations. A hallucination is when the AI itself makes something up that isn't grounded in its training data or context. In earlier versions of large language models, if you asked a large language model, LLM, to identify a prime number, it wasn't always correct. In this example, the AI confidently says 3,821 is not a prime number. It can be divided by 53 and 72. That's clearly incorrect. The AI essentially made up factors that don't actually work. So whether it's bias, misinformation, or hallucinations, the key point is this. AI is only predicting which words, or tokens, should come next in response to a prompt. It isn't fact-checking itself. That's why context, careful use, and human judgment are so important. There's also the risk of teachers and students leaning too heavily on these tools, or misusing them, instead of strengthening their own critical thinking skills. Now that you've got a clearer picture of artificial intelligence, and large language models in particular, we invite you to explore them for yourself. Here are a few ways to get started. Experiment with prompts. Notice how the extra context shapes the output. Ask lots of questions. See how the AI responds to everyday classroom tasks. Check for bias and balance. If you ask the AI to generate images or examples, look carefully. Are certain genders, races, or perspectives overrepresented? Fact-check the outputs. Don't take answers at face value. AI may sound confident, but still be wrong. AI can support your work, but your judgment, creativity, and critical thinking are what make the real difference for students.